How's it going, guys? Well, I know I've been slacking on these videos here lately. I know I haven't uploaded in like over a month, but I got a little bit to talk about here for this video, guys. We got a little bit of a couple of stories that I'd like to talk about here. Buckle up, everybody. This is probably some of the stuff you guys haven't heard about in the reptile community lately. Okay, so right off the bat, I just want to talk about the first thing that I gotta get out of the way, you guys, is obviously, like I said, I've been slacking here on the videos for a while. Anyway, right off the bat, this literally really surprised me when I saw this video from Brian's channel last month. His two-headed snake, Ben and Jerry, had actually passed away. That's right, Ben and Jerry. They're the famous two-headed California king snake they had at the Reptarium. He had passed away, or I should say, they passed away just last month. This was literally an absolute surprise for me. And this was, I think, uploaded back... When was this uploaded? I can't remember when this was uploaded. Anywho, though, yeah, this was absolutely caught me off guard. Now, Ben and Jerry, they did live a long life, you know, as a two-headed snake that were produced in captivity. And these rare two-headed snake, you guys, was donated to the Reptarium shortly after the zoo opened, and Brian introduced Ben and Jerry to the rest of the crew the day they arrived, and it was just absolutely awesome, you know, to see a full-grown adult two-headed snake, you know, because we have to remember that a two-headed snake, you guys, is not genetic. It's a random mutation that pops up once in a while, and most times two-headed snakes don't live for too long. Some might live for only no more than maybe a few months. So it's pretty rare to find a two-headed adult snake, whether it's in the wild or even in captivity. Luckily for Brian, these people that brought Ben and Jerry in, and for several years, they lived a good life. They lived a good life here at the Reptarium, and they have amazed hundreds of people that have come to visit the Reptarium from all over the United States, or even around the world, I should say. But yeah, it's a bummer that they passed away, but like I said, they lived a great life, and they literally amazed so many people when they came to visit. Absolutely awesome. And they will always be remembered. And speaking of Brian's channel, everyone, also not too long after Ben and Jerry had passed away, Brian's wife, Lori, who's kind of taken over the channel, which I think is pretty awesome, she had made a big announcement to everybody online. And that was, she had announced that she made a very tough decision to sell BHB reptiles. This was a very big surprise, and I kind of had a feeling that something like this was going to happen, because over the last few years, Brian and Lori, it looked like they were continuing to downsize their collection, because now that they were running the Reptarium and the Reptarium 2.0, it was obviously a lot more work on their hands, a lot more work. Over time, when Brian was diagnosed, over the months, they continued to slightly downsize the amount of reptiles over at BHB. You know, they sold them to other great pet owners and other maybe potential reptile breeders. Lori, I guess, made the decision, and this was probably on her mind for months, you know, because after Brian passed away, she had all of this on her plate, running BHB, the Reptarium, and now trying to add the Legacy Aquarium. For her, that is like a huge amount of work for her, and that's very, very, very stressful for her. But luckily, obviously some of the other employees there that you guys can see on the channel, like Mike and Jay, for example, those guys were there to help her along the way for every single day. I'm sure for Lori to decide to sell BHB was not that easy for her, because she knows her husband Brian was the one that established the company, and him and Lori together, they ran BHB for over 30 years. So that was very, very difficult. So I can understand why she decided to sell it. And the biggest question is since this BHB is going up for sale, it makes me wonder who is going to buy the company, you know? Are they going to continue to run it, you know, like the way Brian and Lori had done it for so many years? Or are they going to try something different? I have no idea. But yeah, this was a big shock right here, and I'm not gonna lie, I have, I want to show you guys, I want to tell you guys, let's see if I can find him up here. This cage right up here, you guys, right behind me where I'm pointing, that is my albino garter snake Tyson in his cage up there. And if you guys remember, it was probably about almost 10 years ago, I bought my very first captive born snake from BHB Reptiles. And that was so awesome. That was so awesome that I got my very first captive born snake. And Tyson was just a little baby back then. That was just absolutely so cute, and it's crazy I've had him now for almost 10 years, and he's gonna be, later on this year, he will be officially 10 years old. So yeah, I don't know how much longer he's gonna be around, but I'm gonna try and continue to, you know, keep him comfortable and try and offer him, you know, plenty of food, some of his favorite meals when it's his feeding time, and I'll try to continue to socialize with him and stuff like that. Now here's another reptile story, and this just happened literally just in the last few days as I'm recording this, of course. A pet tortoise named Leo escaped a fire that destroyed the shed that she lived in after a heat lamp had fallen and ignited her enclosure in Southern California. The fire occurred while the owner was attending at a Super Bowl party, and security footage showed Leo showing surprising speed, how fast she is, as she zoomed to safety. They said, that's right, they literally said she zoomed to safety. And there is surveillance footage of this, by the way. If you guys want to check it out on YouTube, you guys can go ahead. You should be able to find it pretty easy. And as for the owner, well, the good news is the owner has given a message out to other reptile pet owners to, you know, actually particularly to other pet tortoise owners, to be secure of their heat lamps and prevent from any similar incidences. Because these heat lamps, you guys, they give off a lot of heat. Whether if you own a pet lizard, a snake, a turtle, or a tortoise, or a crocodilian, they give off a lot of heat. Literally, the light bulbs that I have, you guys, for most of my snake enclosures, they give about 100 watts of heat, which is a lot. And that's probably the max amount of wattage you want to use for most of your pet reptiles. Especially like if you're a snake owner like me. If you go any higher, that's kind of increasing a slight risk of a potential fire. So yeah, you don't want to risk that. Because I've heard of several stories where some electrical cords or even heat lamps have failed and have ignited a fire. So yeah, definitely something to think about if you own a pet tortoise and you have one that lives in a shed. It's definitely something you might want to take this advice on and try and prevent any measures from something like this happening. But yeah, this is like everything else, everybody. This is just literally this just happened not even a few days ago. This was actually pretty interesting, and I think it's a little bit of a funny story to show how quickly this tortoise was able to get out of there. And she was smart enough to know that there was danger nearby. She was a very smart tortoise to do that. And some people think, and to the untrained eye, people think turtles and tortoises are just dumb animals, which is clearly not true. They have shown a very good level of intelligence, and Leo, the pet tortoise Leo, showed that. She knew there was danger nearby and she had to get out of there immediately. By the way, before I wrap this video up, everybody, I just want to let you guys know I have a message to inform you all that this year, from March 13th, no, not March 13th, on March 14th and March 15th, I will be attending the NARBC Tinley Park Reptile Show in Tinley Park, Illinois, next month. So I'm going to be actually being there. I'm going to be there all day, both Saturday and Sunday. Me and my dad, we're going to be all over the place there, taking a look around and just seeing all sorts of really cool animals, and maybe running into a few other animal content creators like myself. So if you guys are going to be there at the reptile show, feel free to say hello to me and my dad, because we will be there, everyone, and I cannot wait to actually make my return. I know last year I did not go to the Tinley Park show, and I did a video on this last year of why I did not go. And the really simple answer was because I had a very low budget in my account and I didn't have much money. And so the goal was that spring was to try and keep working and try to save up a little bit of money. For these last few months I've been able to do that. And I managed to save enough money to get my dad some VIP passes. So we're going to be there, like I said, all day, both Saturday and Sunday on March 14th and the 15th. And if you guys want to say hi to us, we'll be there. And if you guys want to get a picture together, we can do that. But that's all I got. That's my message to inform you all. And hopefully I will see a lot of you guys there. Feel free to comment down below and tell me what are you hoping to see at the Tinley Park Reptile Show for this year for 2026. And for now, I'll go ahead and let you all go. And I will see you guys in the next video.